This week marks the 10-year anniversary of one of the most obscure TV shows premiering ever, that being Rick and Morty. And not only does Rick and Morty have a lot of episodes out, but they have a lot of Funko Pops in the animation lineup. So I'm DK Wrestler, and in today's video, I'm going to be ranking every Rick and Morty Funko Pop that has been made through the Tiermaker website. So let's get right to it. Alrighty guys, so here is the Tiermaker website with all of the Rick and Morty Pops besides, and this will be a little disclaimer, I believe they did a Freddy Funko as Toxic Rick, if I'm not mistaken, from like the Box of Fun in like 2019, I believe it is. So anything Freddy Funko related is not eligible for this video. As turns to the categories, we have Burn It, Could Have Been Better, Not Bad, Really Good, and Amazing. I couldn't think of cool catchphrases to replace those words there for the categories. Maybe Unpickle Rick for the first one. But nonetheless, starting off with the very first pop in the Rick and Morty lineup, it is Rick with Flask. And you know what? Gotta put it under really good. It's like, if you can get one Rick pop, this may be it, or one of the ones that we're going to be talking about in a sec. But nonetheless, we have ourselves Morty with Seeds, which once again, I'm going to put under really good. And I should mention that this is in no particular order. So I'm not saying the Rick is better than the Morty. I'm just placing them in that category. The Morty with the Seeds is hilarious. That's from the very first episode. And he's doing that famous facial expression where his lips are all kind of puckered up. And I think that's very hilarious. Then we have ourselves the Hot Topic exclusive Rick with Portal Gun, and I'm going to put that under really good. Once again, it's like the same thing that I was talking about with the Rick with Flask. It's kind of like a pop where if you're going to get one singular Rick pop, this is basically it. But then we have a Rick pop that I enjoy very much, that being Doofus Rick, and that's going to be the first pop going under Amazing. It is my favorite version of Rick when it comes to this series. Doofus Rick was really funny. You had the facial expression with like the teeth holding the bottom lip, and I think that's very hilarious. You got the hair to go along with it also, so it's a very awesome looking pop. Then we have ourselves Evil Morty, and that's going to go under Not Bad, and that's mainly because it's a very simplistic pop. It's just taking a Morty and adding the eye patch, which is all you really need. It's not too amazing. Then we have ourselves the Weaponized Rick, which also has a chase figure, in which I guess in this case I'm going to put the regular one under Could Have Been Better, and then the chase one under Not Bad, because all they did with the common and chase is just change the facial expression. It's a difference between the mouth, and that's basically about it. And then we have ourselves the Weaponized Morty, and I guess I will put that under Not Bad also to go along with that Rick. Then we have one of my favorite characters as terms to Rick and Morty. It is Mr. Meeseeks, and I know there are the three different ones, which I actually might get all three of them over and done with. So we got the regular Mr. Meeseeks. I might as well put it under really good. Maybe, do I put it under Amazing? You know what, for the sake of this, I'm going to put it under Amazing because I love Mr. Meeseeks. The Meeseeks with the blaster there, I'm going to put under okay, and the Meeseeks with the Meeseeks box, I'm going to put under really good. That's how I'm going to rank it. I'm sure that you guys would do different, but nonetheless, it's definitely not a Could Have Been Better or Burn It. These are some really cool pops. Then we got Squanchy, and I'm going to put it under Not Bad. I wish this pop was flocked, but nonetheless, it's still a pretty cool pop. Bird Person, I'd probably put it under Not Bad. Same case, I wish this pop was flocked, and maybe if it was in a deluxe form, I think then it could have been under really good or amazing. Mr. Poopy Butthole, I gotta put him under really good for the sake of the facial expression and the fact that, of course, it's Mr. Poopy Butthole. He's one of the most memorable characters when it comes to Rick and Morty. The Snowball Pop and the regular one, I'm gonna put under Not Bad, but of course, the flocked version exclusive to what was called LA Kamikaze, but now LA Comic-Con, it's going under really good because, of course, flocked, you can't go wrong with that. Then we have ourselves the Mr. Poopy Butthole Hot Topic exclusive, and he's bleeding. I also got to put that under really good because it's from one of those like memorable episodes, and I remember they were trying to save Mr. Poopy Butthole, and I believe they pronounced him dead, but somehow he did come back to life later on because, of course, we do have different versions of Mr. Poopy Butthole we're going to be talking about later on in this video also. But continuing on with this list, we have ourselves the San Diego Comic-Con 2017 exclusive Tinkles with Ghost in a Jar, and I'm gonna put this under really good for especially an obscure character that not a lot of people talk about. I believe this pop is glow in the dark, or at least they make it look like glow in the dark, and especially for, I believe, the value that this pop is worth, in which why it should be under the really good category. Then we have ourselves the New York Comic Con 2017 exclusive Crimbopulous Michael, and I'm gonna put this under not bad. Next one we have ourselves is Scary Terry, and there are 3 different ones, so I'm trying to figure out where I would place them at. I'm going to put the regular one under really good. I'm actually going to put the neon one under amazing, because I think instead of just changing the colors up like blacklight pops nowadays, they just kept with the same color scheme except make it brighter, and I think putting that blacklight to it makes it very nice. And then we have the, which is down here, the Scary Terry Hot Topic exclusive with no pants, and I also got to put that one under really good. That was a funny moment talking about the time when I believe he was in like high school and he had no pants and everyone was making fun of him and stuff like that. So I think it's hilarious how they turned that into a pop and made it an exclusive. Then we got ourselves some of the family members. We got Beth, and I'm gonna put this under really good for the sake that even though it's simplistic, it gets to the point of who Beth is, especially because she has the bottle of wine with the glass that has wine in it, always depressed and crying, and doesn't have the greatest relationship with her husband, Jerry, which, speaking of that, Jerry is right here, the next pop, and I want to put this under really good, but I'm going to put it under okay, mainly because, once again, it's Jerry, but at the same time, it is bringing up the episode of the Meeseeks box and how he kept pressing it a bunch of times and a bunch of Meeseeks had appeared, and, you know, Jerry's not the brightest. Then we have ourselves Summer, and I'm going to put this under not bad. It's simplistic, but it gets to the point of Summer, especially her just on her phone. Then we got ourselves Lawyer Morty, and I'm going to put this, you know what, it's also not bad. It's very different from the other Mortys. Then we got Young Rick, Hot Topic exclusive, also a not bad pop. Then going to one of the most memorable characters for Rick and Morty, of course, Pickle Rick. It became this huge pop culture phenomenon outside of people knowing what Rick and Morty was, and there are multiple different versions, especially later on down the line, which I might as well get those over and done with. So first off is Pickle Rick with the laser, and I gotta put this, you know what, I will put it under really good. The Pickle Rick in the exoskeleton suit, gotta put it under amazing. I think that one was really awesome. It shows a nice facial expression with Pickle Rick. And then we have the translucent Pickle Rick exclusive to FYE, and I think this will be the first pop I put under Burn It. I don't think this was necessary for the lineup. I get it, it's all green, but if you're gonna get the exoskeleton version, definitely get the one that is under the amazing category. And usually for these lists, also, if you're new to the channel, I always like putting at least one pop as terms to each of these categories, and this is definitely a huge candidate of what may be the only pop as terms to this category. And then might as well add the other Pickle Ricks, which are just the pickles themselves. I'm going to put the regular one under not bad, and then the glow-in-the-dark one under could have been better. So there we go. We actually have a Pickle Rick in every single category of this Tiermaker list. Then we got ourselves Crimbopulous Michael, and I will actually put this one under really good. I really enjoyed the character of Crimbopulous Michael, and especially the box with the Szechuan sauce that he's got in his hand, especially on the box. You do have what normally would be blood splatter for a lot of pops, but it's the Szechuan sauce all over the bottom corner of the box. So I really love that attention to detail also, especially if you are an inbox collector. Then we got ourselves the Toxic Rick and the Toxic Morty Target exclusives, and I'll put this under not bad, especially because both of these pops, I believe, are glow in the dark, so adding that aspect and the fact that green is such a good color glow in the dark definitely has to put it at least on not bad. Then we have the Alien Rick and Alien Morty that I believe were Emerald City Comic Con 2018 exclusives, and I'm going to also put this under not bad. These are pretty decent moldings of different versions of Rick and Morty. Then we have ourselves the Prison Break Rick, and I guess I'll put this under not bad. It's not the greatest, but it's not a could have been better in my opinion. Then Sentient Arm Morty with its chase. I think both of them are pretty solid. I'll put both of them under not bad. The common with the arm out, and of course the chase with the arm with the thumb up and is partially bloody. It's part of that Mad Max episode. And speaking of that, that's the next couple of pops here with the Queen Summer, which I think isn't too bad. It's actually quite more detailed than the OG Summer. And then we have Hemorrhage, which I will also put under not bad. Then we have ourselves here the Rick Sanchez with the Face Hugger, which I don't remember if that was a separate episode or that was a part of that Mad Max, but once again, gonna put that under not bad. Then we have ourselves Squanchy with Rope, and I don't know, I think maybe, I can't remember the significance of this episode, but as terms to this pop, I mean, it could be a not bad because it's adding an object to Squanchy compared to the OG, or it could be it could have been better because what could have been better, and I guess I'll put that in there, is making it flock so that it's a bit better than getting the OG one. Then we have ourselves the Western Rick and Western Morty exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con in 2018. And I guess I'm going to put them under not bad. I almost wanted to put them under could have been better because I felt like maybe they should have added some weapons in the hands to make it a decent pop instead of just arms to the side like a 2012 pop. Then we have ourselves the Blips and Chits mystery box pops of Rick and Morty that were GameStop exclusives. I will put this under not bad for the sake of the facial expression and how they have the white eyes and the fact that you have like the Morty mouths on both of them. And then Roy, I actually will have to put under really good for the sake of, I remember when this box came out and how rare this pop was because I believe only a certain amount of the Blips and Chits boxes had the Roy in it. And I want to say the rarity of this was not like a 1 in 6 chase. I felt like it was really rare. Like it definitely had to be up there with like if you were getting mystery minis, like a 1 in 36 or a 1 in 72. Like this pop for the longest time was like the most expensive pop in the Rick and Morty lineup, and I wouldn't be surprised if it still is one of the rarest pops. And I remember Roy from that episode because I believe he's a part of the game that they're playing involved with this mystery box. Then we got ourselves Gearhead, and for the most part, I'm gonna put it under really good for the sake of the detail and how they were able to pull this pop off, even though the character was kind of a very obscure character that only appeared for like not even 30 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Then we got ourselves Teacher Rick and Slick-Haired Morty. I don't know, I feel like at this point it's like, did we really need these? Not really, so this could have been better to get characters we haven't seen yet instead of getting those certain versions. Then we got ourselves Noob Noob. I'm gonna put this under really good. That was one of those obscure characters, once again, that you only seen for a little bit of time, but still kind of one of those memorable characters, especially how they pulled off the eyes and how they're slanted and not straight on. Then we have Froppyland Beth, and I'm gonna put this under not bad. Really cool version of Beth, even though I don't really remember much of that episode. Kiara, which I will put under not bad. Unity, I will put under really good for the sake that she is a memorable character from Rick and Morty that you don't see too often. Jaguar, I'll put under not bad because I believe Jaguar is from season 3, if I'm not mistaken. I do kind of remember that, but as terms of the posing, there wasn't really much you can do to make this better than what it was. Then we have Tiny Rick, and I'm going to put this under really good. It's definitely one of my favorite versions of Rick when it came to Rick and Morty, of course, the clone of himself that basically goes to high school with Morty. Then we have the Purge Suit, Rick and Morty pops, and once again, I feel like this is a could have been better. We're getting to the point where there's just so many Rick and Morty pops that is just kind of ridiculous in my opinion. Then we have Berserker Squanchy, and I'm going to put this under the really good category. The detail is absolutely amazing compared to the other two Squanchy pops where you have the different colored eyes. I think it could have been under amazing if this pop, once again, like I mentioned with the two previous ones, if it was flocked. Exoskeleton Snowball. We have seen a couple of snowballs. I'll put that under really good. But I feel like if this pop was both flocked because of it being a dog and metallic because of the exoskeleton outfit, I think it could have went under amazing. If it was just flocked and then just keep it regular for the outfit, I think this would have been under amazing. Then we have Dr. Xenon Bloom, and I'm going to put this under really good. I mean, I thought about putting this under not bad, but this is from one of my favorite episodes where it involves like the Pirates of the Pancreas, I believe it was. Then we have Resistance Goldenfold. Fold, and I'm gonna put this under not bad. I mean, really nice attention to detail with this, and surprising that they don't even have a regular Golden Fold pop yet. The Swifty Rick that's exclusive to Hot Topic, and the Swifty Morty exclusive to Barnes & Noble, and I'm gonna put both of these under not bad. Normally these kinds of moments would go under really good, but I think the reason, oh sorry, it's under could have been better. I meant to put it under not bad. It could have been better realistically, which is why I was going to mention that this should have been realistically a 2-pack because it's in the same moment, and if it was a 2-pack, it would have been under really good. Then we have ourselves the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Tracksuit Jerry and Gluty, and for the most part, I'm going to put it under not bad for the sake of really cool to see another Jerry because we hadn't gotten any Jerry pops since the OG one at this point, and then a character of Gluty within, I believe it's season 4, so seeing new characters and being Comic-Con exclusive definitely makes sense. Then we got the Shrimp Rick and Shrimp Morty from New York Comic-Con 2019. Once again, it's that trend of like seeing way too many Rick and Morty pops that are a little bit unnecessary in my opinion, so it's going under the could have been better category. Then we got Rick with Crown. There is definitely a way better version of this in my opinion, or at least something that goes along with this, so that's why it's going under could have been better. Then we got ourselves Tony, and I'm gonna put him under the not bad category. It goes along with that Rick with Crown in that same episode, and it's really cool that they made that pop, and especially for a character that you don't really see that much, but you kind of have an emotional attachment to. Then we got ourselves the hologram Rick clone with Sign, and once again, following that trend of ridiculous Rick pops that just didn't really need to be made. And I'm going to put that here with the Death Crystal as I look on the list. Morty, going to put that under could have been better. Kirkland Meeseeks, I will put under not bad. It was really cool to see the different kind of Meeseeks when it came to season 4. So I actually debated on buying this pop, not going to lie. Then we have ourselves the Teddy Rick, which I was actually fortunate enough to find the Chase version. So I'm going to put the regular one under not bad, and I will put the Chase one under really good. Both of these could have been bumped up one spot each if, and this is going to be a reoccurring thing of me saying, it should have been flocked. Then we got Wasp Rick, and as terms of detail, even though I'm sick of seeing these different Ricks, I'm actually going to put this under not bad. This is actually a pretty decent version of Rick, and it actually looks pretty different compared to the other Rick pops. Then we have the floating Death Crystal Morty, and this one I will put under not bad, considering it is a much better pop than the one we have under the could have been better category. Then we have ourselves the glow-in-the-dark Rick Sanchez holographic pop with the Sign. Could have been better. Almost wanted to put it under Burn It, but I actually do have a pop I want to mention that actually could fit the molding of Burn It, and that is the 10-inch GameStop exclusive Rick with Portal Gun. It's got to be a Burn It. There is no reason why there should have been a 10-inch version of a Rick and Morty pop, especially Rick Sanchez, unless there was a character they haven't made yet that could fit the mold of being a 10-inch pop. Once again, with these holographic Ricks, putting them under could have been better. And even though the one with the chicken is pretty decent, still putting it under could have been better. Rick with the snake, I'll put this one under not bad, actually, for the sake of the episode. And same with the Morty, since Morty does get bitten by the snake. Then we have the Auctioneer, Mr. Poopy Butthole, and I'm going to put this under not bad. I do like, of course, the OG ones, the common and the Hot Topic exclusive one better, but it was great to see Mr. Poopy Butthole back in pop form in this case. Then we have ourselves Rick with the Crystal Skull, and once again, it's a could have been better. Hospice Morty, I actually will put this under not bad. I do like the way that they showed this version of Morty. It's older Morty, because I think he has a daydream about his lover Jessica wanting to take care of hospice people, so it's like imagining if she was taking care of him when he was old. Then we have ourselves the king of, and you know the word that goes after that, of Rick Sanchez. This is going under amazing. And reason is because it's one of the first pops that has sound. And even though it is farting noises, that's really awesome because of the fact that when they made this pop, they could have not added the sound. But to add that sound is a nice attention to detail, of course, from when Rick goes to a different planet to use a washroom. Then we have ourselves Gamer Rick and the Morty with laptop. So I believe it's around the same thing, both GameStop exclusives. I'll put Morty under not bad because he's actually in a sitting pose and it's not just just like standing up. But then with the Rick, I don't know. I'm putting under could have been better. Then we have the, I guess, Evil Morty, Story Train Evil Morty. And I'm gonna put this under not bad. I actually like this one much more than the Evil Morty from the OG wave, just because there's more added to it compared to that OG one, even though the OG one is more memorable. Then we have the Morty with Glorzo. Once again, this is one of those things like could have been better. I'm gonna say that for the Rick also. Queen Summer, we don't get too many summer pops. I'll put that under not bad. And then we have ourselves the Balthroma, and I'll put this under really good for the sake of obscure characters, and it's not another Rick or another Morty. Then we have ourselves the Morty with Shrunken Rick, and even though I hate the trend of so many Mortys and Ricks that are unnecessary, I gotta put this under not bad for the sake of it was one of those first pops that holds a figure that's in a shape of a Funko Pop, and I believe this was one of, if not the first pop to begin that trend, and then we ended up seeing that later on with more different kinds of Funko Pops. Then we have Rick Sanchez with the funnel hat. Once again, could have been better. And then the Rick with the memory vial, I think once again, could have been better. I mean, these Rick pops are just so unnecessary, and they do too many Rick pops that just aren't that appealing. Speaking of Rick pops that actually are kind of appealing, not gonna lie, we have the buffed Rick and buffed Summer from Emerald City Comic Con 2017, and I'm gonna put this under really good for the sake of the difference between this Rick and the other ones, and especially seeing another Summer. Plus, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the most expensive Rick and Morty pop in the entire set. I believe Funko YouTuber Rye the Pop Guy, this was the last pop he had to get in order to complete his Rick and Morty set because of how expensive this pop was. And then we have the pop rides for Rick and Morty, which include Rick's Ship, that's exclusive to Hot Topic, and then they did the Mad Max Rick, that's just a common. I'll put the Mad Max Rick under the really good section. I really like the detail of the car, but I wanted to end this off on a high note by adding Rick's Ship as a pop under the amazing category. It's a pop that's retained a lot of value, and it is one of those pops where if you're honestly looking for one Rick pop, it didn't matter at this point if it was a pop rides or a singular pop. Of course, that is going to be the end of this ranking video, and if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your opinions down below. Of course, this isn't the right list, it's just my opinion after all. So thank you for watching this video, and hope to see you guys on the next one. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.